Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
Here's the agenda.
Okay.
How many things are there? Yeah, so I'll take one. Thank you. Okay. You started your recording? The next meeting that we have scheduled is Tuesday, August the 15th at 4:30 at your building. Do we want to look for other dates?
That's up to you.
What does your calendar look like? What do you have available?
So we're meeting next Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
And then we have OCAP on the 23rd. 30th?
Good?
Yeah, works for me.
30th? Everybody, 30th work?
30 at CCA.
Yes.
Oh, these are extras.
Okay, you want to just do the one? And just, that way gives us two on the
Yeah,
table.
yeah.
Okay. That works. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Okay. So for my sanity and organizational purposes, I'm going to provide to you as the spokesperson a packet containing proposals which are already on the table, which will be part of our overall package for teachers if tentatively agreed upon or withdrawn. And because they have a financial impact, I did not want to forget about them or for you to consider them in totality of our proposal, salary proposal. So I'm just going to give that to you. You all have copies of those. They're exactly what we've given out before, but just so you can kind of follow along with me. I also ask that you wait to ask any questions until I'm completely done with my entire presentation. So the first thing is, first is our counter to Union 3, which was the coverage pay, and our counter to Union 5, which was the high school 7th period pay, both presented on May 17th. We believe these to be fair increases in those supplements and would tentatively agree upon these values if you see fit. Next, we will be rejecting Union 6 automatic step, as we still believe salaries must be paid in accordance with Florida statute, which require a final evaluation and final rating of effective or highly effective, even if you're on the grandfather's schedule. But aside from the statute, an automatic step would limit our flexibility on negotiating substantial increases year after year. We must be fiscally responsible, and it must be sustainable. But we do believe the language contained in the district counter proposal presented on May 31st as an appropriate adjustment to this article, as we believe we should give teachers control over the decision of their pay at any time if it is before the board approval of the ratified agreement, and then this would then cover any movement throughout the year. And then next, we'll be rejecting Union 7 dual enrollment counter to district. The district proposal presented on May 31st is appropriate compensation for performance of teachers and their students in dual enrollment courses, and it brings it in line with ACE and AP. The legislature also passed this last session a dual enrollment educator scholarship program, which assists high school teachers to obtain their graduate degrees and necessary credentials to teach dual enrollment courses on the high school campus. The district also compensates for those advanced degrees earned by these teachers. And we also learned that FSW provides most of the training online, so they are not, and they're done during the work time. We will also be rejecting Union 8 counter to district lunch monitor. The district proposal presented on May 31st is more than appropriate and takes the current value of the supplement from $4 per lunch per semester to $10 per lunch per semester at a total of $962, which is currently more than a club sponsor. And these funds come from the school internal accounts, so we don't want to impair their ability to utilize this option if needed for safety. But we do have a counter proposal to your last experience credit from June 17th. And you don't have that in that packet. I have it here. That way. I will pass that over to you. So this is our counter proposal to your last experience credit proposal from June 17th. The last employee hired on the grandfathered schedule was in 2010. 2011 and 2012 was the last year that employees could bring in 18 years of experience, and then it dropped to 6 and 9. We cannot go back and undo what was negotiated by the unit in terms of salary or frozen steps. We also believe we have more than compensated in subsequent years. Steps have not equated to actual years since 2012 with the adoption of the performance schedule and the impact of negotiated agreements. But we do recognize that we will have some current employees on the performance schedule that were limited in the number of years of outside experience they could bring in since 2012. And due to negotiations, be above the cap that we set in our proposal at R3 or 67.6 we had in our previous proposal. So we are proposing an adjustment to the language. This adjusted language would allow current employees to apply for additional verified outside experience credit earned prior to their current employment start date. This will help us better recruit and retain the teachers for the classrooms. And lastly, our final proposal for the evening is a counter to your salary proposal and retention supplement. I'm going to hand these out to you guys, and then I'll do them next. 3, 2. I'll give this to you in a second. So, it is our desire to do as much as possible for the teachers. We want to continue to be able to provide increases year after year. So we need to ensure those increases are sustainable. Many districts go all in just to find out that they cannot sustain the increases and are unable to provide increases in the future. And this is happening with several counties in the state, Alachua being one of them. We are fiscally responsible and care enough to ensure we can not only sustain our current salaries, but increase them each and every year significantly. We want you to get to your $55 million you put on the table someday, but we need to do it in increments. It is important to keep in mind all the hard work we, collectively, CCEA and the district, have done to negotiate increases for teachers in the past year. Last year's package was valued at 9.1% with additional supplement increases and advanced degree increases. The year before it was 2.75. And the year before that it was 4.5, but that was a COVID year. There was no performance pay, and we gave a double step. We hear your desire and advocacy for the parity of salary increases for both the grandfathered and the performance salary schedules. And in our proposal, we have addressed that desire. We are proposing a package of 9.91%, which is an increase from last year and something we believe is sustainable if we have support for a revote of the referendum. This package stays in compliance with statute. It brings up our entry-level salary to the top 2 or 3 paid counties in the state, which will impact everyone as we will be able to recruit teachers to the area and fill our classrooms. Almost 20% increases in 2 years shows our commitment to teachers. It also recognizes the value of our employees who have stayed with us for many years, retention. We will reject your retention supplement, but we include a bonus for only grandfather schedule employees as a recognition of their dedication to the district. This is the most we can do at this time financially in context of all of the proposals on the table. So theoretically, the pot of money. And we ask that you look carefully at the counter proposals as we believe we have addressed all of your concerns around recruitment, retention through experience credit, salary increases, and the bonus for grandfather. And I'll leave you with the clip here. There you go. So the salary proposal. I'll wait till you fill it out. Hand it up. Is that all grandfathered schedule employees eligible shall receive 1 step on the incremented salary schedule and an additional $1,000 on their base salary, retroactive to July 1. Eligible employees on the grandfathered schedule as of July 1 also shall receive a one-time bonus of $500. Any employee on the grandfathered schedule that receives their effective or highly effective rating and is not eligible for a step on the salary schedule, which is step Z, will also receive a one-time supplement of $1,500. Plus, they'll get the $500 bonus. Employees on the performance salary schedule will receive a $3,000 increase to the base salary, and to those who hold advanced degrees and do not have a step placement, see the revised salary schedule. Eligible employees on the performance schedule shall also receive an adjustment if they're rated effective 2 fractional steps or 5 fractional steps for highly effective. That equates to the 2 fractional steps for effective is $880. The highly effective 5 fractional steps is $2,200. And then, of course, all supplements will remain at the current base. And that's what we have for you tonight.
All right, we will,
Can I-
yes.
What is the total dollar amount for all of the district's package of proposals?
It's 9.91%.
No, I meant the dollar amount.
I'd have to get that to you.
John doesn't know?
We
Had
can
it
get it to
earlier.
you, yeah. I don't have my computer open.
Gotcha.
Okay, we're gonna present with you with what we have, and then we'll go caucus and we will address this.
Okay.
after we caucus.
Yeah,
Okay, we have clarifying questions about your counter to our music proposal.
Okay?
So, in the last meeting,
Yep.
well, she's.
Union 10 Appendix D?
Yeah. So as you were going through the numbers, you were giving us appendix and dollar amounts. And, when I went back and looked at the video, you had said that elementary would be $57, middle school would be $87 increase, and high school is $127. That's what your indexes would equal.
You can do the math.
I did.
47.8,
Yeah,
yeah.
I did. And when I went back and looked at the proposal, for example, middle school band director, I think that one did come out at $87, but the other two was actually showing a $57 difference.
What other two?
The one
The middle
directed below
school?
it, the orchestra director.
So when you look at regardless of what I said, the index is .0280. So .0280 times 43,760 is 122.52. So it'd be $123, the supplement. Oh, I'm sorry, 43,760, I missed a zero. It's $1,225.
Okay, and I subtract the $11.68 from that, I get $56.88 and 8 cents. That's middle school.
That's the same increment is for middle school band, orchestra director, and drama director.
Right.
Mhm.
But at the end of after you went through all of that, at the very end, you said that elementary was gonna be about $57, middle school would be $87 difference between the two indexes, and high school would be 127. That does not come out to that amount.
So I'm
So, okay,
so multiply the index.
I have 12, 25, 28, which is what I have,
Mm-hmm.
and I subtract 1168. Okay, but what I'm saying is, for elementary school, it was supposed to be a $57 increase.
No.
For middle school,
Whether my math was correct or not, these indexes is what we're proposing. You are welcome to come back with a different index if that is
Okay.
what you see.
And then the last thing, at the very bottom, we had on our proposal, it said for set learning amount, additional activities earning set a dollar amount, music event coordinator, 8 per district, honors course, honors band was at .0120. We increased it, it was not on your proposal. Was that a misstep or?
Let me look, because I don't remember that being on there, but let me look. Is that Union 10? Oh, yes, we missed that. We did miss that. We can add that to our, yep, I'm sorry, it blended in. It was so close to the signature line.
All right, 2 of the counters that we have, you had in this packet. So do you want us to go ahead and give them to you, or you want to wait till we caucus and do it all as a package?
It's it's your time.
Go ahead with it, okay. All right. The first one is to Union Proposal 5. And that was for teaching the 7th period. And the counter that you brought back was 14%.
Mm-hmm.
And the counter that we are proposing to you is 16%. Because when teachers give up that planning time, they still have their work that they have to do.
Well, this is them choosing to take a 7th period assignment.
It is them choosing to take it, I realize that, but you get 7 teachers, 6, 7 teachers to take one, then that's a position that you don't have to fill.
Not necessarily, because some of these 7th period assignments are one-off courses, so.
But anyway, our counter is 16%.
Okay.
Okay, and the other one The other one is to Union Counter 3.
This out here.
And this is the split pay coverage.
Oh, I don't know, I'm counting them out.
I have your red one.
Okay, we are proposing to increase the stipends. Let me go back to yours. For 50, 65, and 75 at secondary, and then the 73, 128, 173 at elementary. All right. Our reasoning here is when teachers give up their planning time to cover other classes, they still have to do their work. You know, they still have to plan for their kids. They still have to gather resources. They still have grades to do. They still have report cards to do. They still have their work to do. And as of 20 minutes ago, or 30 minutes now, there's still 120 vacancies posted on the website between elementary, middle, high school, and instructional support personnel. So just basing that on the $50,000 salary, beginning salary, that's $6 million. And whenever you add the fringe in, you're looking at a little over $7.3 million. That's money you guys will receive from the state. If you're not able to fill the vacancies, you don't have to return that money to the state. So teachers should get paid for covering the classes. And that's still not a lot to give up your planning time to cover these classes. We're in the business of educating children. We need teachers in those classrooms, and if we can't get them, people are stepping up to the plate. But if you're not willing to pay the people to give up their planning, then you all are going to have to start sending people out of the district office to cover these classes, because we're done.
Yep,
We
and we have.
We are hired to teach our class. And so whenever we give up our planning time, we're not hired to teach our class and somebody else's. We understand that there's a teacher shortage. We also understand we have a lot of TSAs running around that are certified teachers that need to be in classrooms teaching children.
And actually, that has been a change this year. They've all been pushed out to schools.
And we still have 120 vacancies.
Well, I hope you've been watching the news. This is a nationwide epidemic. And we're in a much better spot than those to the north of us who sit at more than 300, and to the east of us that are at thousands.
And we're sorry for those people, but that's not our priority. Our priority is our people. So like I said, that's going to be $7.3 million that you all are going to get from the state, but you don't want to pass it on to teachers to give up their planning time to cover the classes, because their work still has to be done.
Our intent is to fill every one of those allocated positions.
But that's the intent. Was the intent last
So
year.
there
but it
isn't
didn't
necessarily
happen.
$7.3 million that we have that
But
is
there
just
could
floating
be.
around.
There could be if you don't fill the positions. So anyway, that's our counter for that one.
Okay?
We've stepped up to the plate. We've done everything we can do, and we've gotten to the point that we feel like we're being taken advantage of. And whenever you know that you have these things, that does not constitute an emergency. An emergency is something that comes up that you don't foresee. You take if somebody's spouse has a heart attack, or somebody's parent is in a car wreck, or somebody's child gets gravely ill. We're going to go cover, whether we get paid or not, we're going to go cover for that person.
And that's
because
the
an
intent of this
emergency.
language.
But whenever it's a vacancy day after day after day after day, that doesn't constitute an emergency. Other arrangements need to be made to help get these classes covered.
Absolutely. And that's why this is for those emergency purposes only, not for the vacancy coverage.
Right, but teachers need to be paid for giving up their planning time, because they have to go home or stay late to get their work done when they do that.
Okay?
That's just contract enforcement is what that is. Okay. Anybody have any questions before we go caucus? Okay. We will caucus and talk about this, and then we will be back to respond to this.
All right.
They're not. Okay, after careful deliberation, we have arrived at the point, before we can really make any decisions, we need a breakdown of the 9.91% into dollar amounts. We would like, and we want, performance versus grandfather, what the dollar amounts are. And we would like to request that within 48 hours, so we have time to work on it before Tuesday's meeting.
Okay.
Anybody have any questions?
Yes, I got a question. A few months back, Steve got chastised for not having a dollar figure. And I'm looking at Collier County Public Schools, you being the chief negotiator, and you being the head of finance. How is it and why is it you guys are gonna come in and bring a proposal and not have a dollar amount? Was it out of convenience? I don't get it. You're gonna put something together, chastise Steve about not having a dollar amount, and you come back and do the same thing, and I think that's so hypocritical.
So we have a couple things to address that you had brought up that we'd like to share. In reviewing, well, let's just start with the music. So I'm not sure, Ms. Mapes, what you were referring to or how you were calculating, but when I said the difference between elementary music teacher, it was what the previous, not your proposal, it's what they were actually getting and what we were proposing. So anything that went to a .004 was a $57 difference. The orchestra director at high school at a .0550 was an $87 difference. And the drama director, high school, at a .025, which is what this is all on our proposal, is $127. And the middle school, any middle school position that was at a .0280 index was $57. And we went back and reviewed the music event coordinator, and I forgot, but my team reminded me that we did not believe that that needed to be increased at all. That's why it was left off. Okay? And then,
Was it that your calculations I thought were wrong? It was at the end of that, as you were going through all the numbers, you were getting a lot of decimal numbers and dollar figures and the differences and all that, so it was confusing. So at the end, when you said basically 57 for elementary, $87 for middle, and 127 for high school, and I went back and I looked at the middle school, since they only said $57 differences, I thought, oh, well, maybe there's an error there. So I was just looking
No.
for clarification because
Yeah.
it didn't match. I thought, well, that's the easy thing for me to go back and look at to see
yeah,
where we were.
the difference between what it was and what we were proposing is the $57. We went back and looked at the Appendix A, the differentiated pay for high school, the volunteer. At the 16%. I want to just take one more look at what our proposal was before we share. Let me go back here. You have,
Ours was 14.
yeah, I want to look at ours real quick. This was Union 5. Just want to make sure. Okay, they took a couple things out. So we'll come back with, we don't, we actually agree with the 16%, but we don't agree with some of the line outs, so we'll come back with something. But after looking at the percentage and comparing it to what they actually do, this is a class that they lesson plan and prepare for, we're actually good with the 16%. So we'll come back with something on that, just so you know.
Okay.
Okay.
And one other thing that I would like to add, in the breakdown, the dollar amount, We have a grave concern about the fairness between the pay for performance and the grandfather scale.
Then you gotta bring it up with the statute. I mean, we have to comply with statute.
It,
And I don't disagree with you, but that is the state of what we are working with, and we can't control that.
okay, but just so you know, that is a concern that we have, because, you know, people, your veteran people, they have given you their loyalty, they've given you their blood, sweat, and tears.
I understand that, but I do, you have to look at the data. Principals don't look at a teacher and say they're grandfathered or performance. They look at them as a teacher. So we want people to be clearly informed with what they're leaving financially on the table. Just looking at the highest paid person on the master scheduled on grandfathered, there's a significant difference between what they're making and what they could potentially be making on the performance schedule. And we only non-renewed 2 people last year,
No, in the last 4 years.
in the last 4 years. So the data doesn't support. This is about money, not
From grandfather?
just 2 people.
2 people, annual contract, non-renewals in the last 4 years.
So non-renewals,
Non-renewals?
non-renewals.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
I have a list in my office of about 8 people just this past school year that you non-renewed.
No,
Not
sir.
that-
Or let's say that you basically put them over a barrel and enforced a resignation in lieu of non-renewal. It still has the same effect. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about what we're talking about. But please do not say that about non-renewal. That is totally a disingenuous statement. You know the word I'm trying to
Yes,
say.
but regardless, we have 3,200 teachers.
Gotcha.
Even if your number was accurate, 8. It's not 50% of your unit. We are not looking to go after teachers. Teachers that make mistakes pay the penalty. But we are always at the benefit of the teachers as much as possible. And you know that. You can say that in your heart, that we have worked very hard with your unit to come with the best outcomes for the teachers when there are issues.
My hope is that you do more.
So with that, there is a lot for people to understand. They're going to get your protection union-wise regardless of what salary schedule. We're talking dollars and cents. I can't do anything about the statute.
I will just add, though, that the statute only says essentially that the highly effective teachers has to be, or any salary given to highly effective teachers versus a teacher on the grandfather schedule there has to be a difference of 25%. The salary proposal that you offered today
No, sir.
is not, is giving teachers on the grandfather schedule something less than the statute even envisioned.
So the statute actually
Let me
reads-
at least finish my statement.
All right,
So while
but you're making a misstatement.
you can rebuttal that after I get finished, but I'd like to finish my sentence. Your proposal, the statute doesn't tell the district that the district has to give teachers on the grandfather schedule bonuses in lieu of putting money on the salary schedule. You made that decision in your proposal. The statute doesn't say that that you have to give teachers less than what the statute states. The statute sets an upper limit in terms of the maximum that somebody on the grandfather salary schedule can be in relation to a highly effective teacher. So while, you do what you do for your own reasons, you can do better and still comply with the statute. And certainly you can put dollars on the table for people on the grandfather schedule that are not bonuses, that's actual money that they don't have to then renegotiate again for at a later negotiation, since we'll be back at the table again next year.
So this is why you can come back with a proposal The dollars that we have on the table are the dollars that we have. That's the pot of money with everything that you have in totality. So whatever you want to move around or change or adjust, so you think it fits what you need it to be to the grandfathered, you bring that to us. You bring us what you think. And as long as it complies with, and we'll review it as long as it complies with the statute. But it's not only the 25%. We also must, adjustment under the salary performance schedule for an employee rated effective must be at least 50% and no more than 75% than the annual adjustment for a highly effective employee in the same classification, which means anybody sitting on that grandfathered schedule. So there is a significant impact under the statute to both grandfathered and to performance. So, but you have, the ball is in your court. You know what we have. We will send you, tomorrow we'll send you the value of the package, and you can come back with something on Tuesday.
Okay, that's good. And one question that I have.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
have 871 people on the grandfather schedule.
Yes, ma'am.
If all of these people switched over to performance pay, how would you pay them? Because you can't afford to pay grandfathered people now. So if they switched to performance, you said it would be significantly more money that they would get paid.
Well, let me just give you an
So how would you
example.
afford to do that if you can't do it now?
That's a good question.
Would you like to answer?
Sure. Realistically, I don't think we would get 871.
We had 67 last year.
Last year, yeah, it was about 67. And if we don't have it within the budget, we'd have to tap into our future budget shortfall reserve. Anything that we don't have budgeted and we end up expending more than anticipated, it comes from the future budget shortfall
But the
reserve.
people that are here on grandfather now, they're not worth paying unless they give up their tenure and switch to pay for performance.
No.
Is that what you're saying?
No.
That
The statute doesn't allow us to. That's what we're saying. If everybody was on the performance salary schedule, we would have to adjust to pay everybody on the performance salary schedule. But right now, because you're on the grandfather, we have to comply with statute. Our hands are tied.
We need to talk to you. Okay, so we will see you on Tuesday at your place.
Yep.
And you said you will get us that information we need tomorrow?
Yes, ma'am. I have it on my computer. I just can't get into the internet here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Meeting
All right,
adjourned.
thanks.
The password's right there, just in case. you
It's
need it.
not working for some